Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome into another episode of the Run Your Day podcast. As always, Dan Hafner joining you here this morning. It is Hump Day, my friends. Wednesday. Man, I don't even remember the day of the day of the month here. The 27th, maybe. Dang, it's crazy. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate you guys. Once I can get my days right. Today's topic is this: it is what it is. As always, thank you all for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. All right, so I'm going to talk today about a principle that just kind of entered my mind yesterday, and I just wanted to share with you guys. And it was this. I really wish that my former coach, college football coach, Coach Matlack, could hear this. But he always used to say, it's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. Okay? So I'm going to talk about this, dive into this a little bit, and see how it applies across our lives. So this principle and this saying, like I said, came from my college football coach when we would be watching film after a lot of our football games, where basically the principle that he had shared with us and this lesson that he kept teaching us was that it's never as good as you think, meaning like you make a great play in the middle of a game, you make a great tackle or a great catch or like whatever you do, you executed something well. When you go back and watch that on film, you have the version of it as how it happened in your head, and then you watch it on film and you realize, well, I could have done this better. I thought in my mind that I did this move when really, when I watch it and I see what factually happened, I didn't really do that exact thing that I thought my body did, right? So there's the one hidden lesson inside of that is there's always room for improvement, right? No matter, like, your brain kind of can replay things not correctly and trick you into thinking that you're doing something right, when in reality you might be doing it right, but there's always room to do it better. All right, okay? So then the second part of this was it's never as bad as you think, right? So maybe there was a play where blew a coverage, or you miss a tackle, or they score a touchdown on you, you drop a ball that hits you right in the hands, or something that you messed up that you just thought was the end of the world. Like, I did this so terribly, so horribly, I'm an embarrassment to myself and everyone in my life, right? So, but when you go back and you watch it on film, you see, okay, well, I just did this one little thing wrong. Like, other than that, everything else was great, right? Like, it wasn't as big of a deal that, I made it out to be in my mind. And this was really powerful for me. This was how I operated a lot, was I would, blow these plays up to be something that I completely screwed up, that I was never fixable, never redeemable, just was never able to do it better, right? And I started to realize that it's never as bad as you truly think it is, And as this applies to our lives, right? Like, I think this second one is really something I want to focus in on, because whether if you're like me or if you're not like me, and, even to this day, I'll still get into situations in my life and where I'll be inside of my own head, right? And everything seems worse than it actually is. Whether it's in your fitness, your money, your job, your relationship, like whatever it might be, whatever area of your life you're telling yourself a story of how terrible things really are, it's not ever as bad as you make it out to be. And this is hopeful, right? Like, this gives you hope. This gives you like a reassurance that, it's not the end of the world. There are things that are happening in your life that you're making out to be like the worst thing ever. It's just terrible. It's awful. I screwed it up, or this person's out to get me, or like whatever it might be. But when you really step back and look at it, it's never as bad as you think. It's never as bad as you think. Like, I just really want to hammer this home, because this is really something I'm not only telling you guys, but I'm also kind of telling myself, right? Like there's always different things going on that are making things not appear as they really are, right? And then on the flip side again, whether you're in great shape, or you have a great relationship, or you have a great job or business that you're really, really happy in, or whatever it is, it's never quite as good as you think, right? There are pieces of it that you might not be dealing with well. There are pieces of it that can always be better, right? Like whatever domain you're talking about. So it's really, really interesting because it's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. So this kind of keeps you towards the middle. It keeps you grounded, right? You stay humble this way. You say, okay, I'm not on top of the world like I thought I was. I'm actually down a couple pegs. But when you're at your lowest point, you're never really at the bottom of the barrel, right? Like you are better off. You got to give yourself more credit than you're willing to give yourself. It's not the end of the world, right? So my challenge for you today is this. Identify at least one area of your life where you are telling yourself a story that it's better than you think it really is. And then identify an area of your life where it's not as bad as it might be. It's not as bad as you think. So identify these two different areas. Where is something in your life where it's not as good as you think it is? And where is something where it's not as bad as you think it is? And start analyzing each of these situations to think, okay, this is where I have room for improvement in the area where it's not as good as I think. And then this is where I can start improving, and this is what I actually need to give myself credit for in the area where it's not as bad as I think. And you'll really start to run into a lot of gratitude, a lot of insights, and really just like revelations with this practice. So it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome stuff. So just wanted to share that with you guys. It's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. All right. So that's going to wrap up today's show. As always, thank you all for joining. Really, really appreciate you guys listening in today. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. Going to be a couple other good shows coming up here. Might also bring my wife on one episode. Hopefully, I'm hoping to. So as always, thank you all for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day and make it a great one.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.